Hi, I'm Rebecca Balcarcel. Let's talk about Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. This story is confusing the first time through, no doubt about it, because Hemingway's style is minimalist. That means he only gives us the bare facts. He doesn't say he said or she said. We have to figure that out. He doesn't say, oh, here's what they're talking about. We have to figure that out. And he doesn't interpret or give us inner characters' thoughts, so we don't hear the character saying, gosh, that really irritated me. Instead, we have to just watch the scene unfolding, we overhear the conversation, and it's up to us to infer and conclude who these people are, what their problem is, and why there's so much tension in the air. All right, so first they have a drink. And alcohol plays a big role in this story. The girl asks for a beer, and then she says, no, make it a big beer. We want 2 large beers. And already we get the idea that they're going to need some alcohol because they think alcohol will help them discuss what they need to discuss or avoid discussing what they need to discuss. So for a while they're talking about drinks, and at one point the girl says, isn't this all we do is try new drinks and look at things? This is not the statement of someone who's in a happy, healthy relationship. In fact, she's questioning the value of the relationship. She's not happy with her life when she's saying this statement. She's probably lacking some deeper level in her life, and suddenly her life is looking kind of shallow, and maybe the relationship is looking shallow. She thought this is what she wanted, but something has happened that has made her change her mind or changed her perspective on the relationship. And sure enough, pretty soon after this talk that's just kind of back and forth and not really connecting with each other, they seem to be dancing around some issue. They're avoiding, in fact, they're avoiding the elephant in the room, which is an expression to say that they're avoiding the big issue that they're both aware of, they're both thinking about, they just don't want to talk about it. So finally, the man kind of bursts out with, look, you should just have the procedure done. Okay, they've not talked about a procedure previously in the story, so this is just erupting out of him. This must have something to do with what's really bothering him. So he says, look, it's a simple procedure. I think you should just do it. It'll be great. And later he says he'll be there with her while it's being done. And he thinks this will solve the problem, whatever the problem is. She's not certain that this will solve the problem. Not only is she not sure about the procedure itself, she's not sure that their relationship is going to improve if she does have this procedure done. And they talk about that quite a bit. She says, so we'll just go back to being happy like we were before? And he says, yes, we will. It'll be just like before. Before this happened, we were happy. And after you have this procedure, we can go back to being just like it was before. Well, she says, are you sure about that? Is that really how it's going to be? And she's thinking that no, it's not going to be exactly like it was before. Because once she has the procedure, or maybe once this problem has erupted in their relationship, it can't ever be the same. They have learned something about each other by going through this experience, and it's leaving her questioning whether this is really the relationship she wants. So having the procedure or not may not affect the relationship. It may still be kind of a doomed relationship. So she is not at all sure that everything's going to be happy again, even if she does get the procedure. Now, what the heck is the procedure? The procedure is an abortion. And if she gets it, it will put them sort of back where they started, but not really. They will have made the decision that they don't want to be married and have a family and go down that road. Now, maybe that's okay with him. Maybe that's what he wants. It seems to be, because he keeps pressuring her to do this procedure. But I think maybe she didn't know she wanted a family before. Maybe she always knew. I don't know. But now she seems to feel that if he wants her to have this abortion, then that signals something about the relationship. It's not the kind of relationship that's going to turn into a marriage and family. And if that's what she wants, then he's not the right man. But she's not ready to just break up with him right now. She's feeling him out. She's feeling herself out. She's not especially clear in her mind about what she wants. And she's willing to entertain the idea that maybe this would work. In fact, she says, okay, I'll just do it. I'll do it for you. And that's not a healthy thing to say either. This is too important to just do it because someone else wants you to. And what else for her that we need to remember is that she is thinking about a baby here. And when she says those hills are like white elephants, we have another insight into what the elephant is. You know, why do the hills look like white elephants? She's connecting the elephants to the baby. Well, what do elephants have to do with babies? Well, the expression white elephant refers to a gift that you want that's very awkward. I'm sorry, a gift that you don't want. A gift that came to you in for graduation or for a birthday or for a wedding, and you realize, yuck, this thing doesn't match any of my stuff. This thing doesn't refer to my personality or anything that harmonizes with me. This is not me. This is a white elephant gift. And I'm going to, check it in the Goodwill bag, or I'm going to have a garage sale immediately and sell it. And that is what a white elephant is. And a baby should not be a white elephant, something that doesn't fit into your life, something that you don't want. So she at first says, okay, the baby is like a white elephant, and then later she's thinking, well, maybe I like white elephants, and she's trying to draw the man into a discussion about, what if we keep the baby? What would that mean? Couldn't we keep it? Maybe we could have a family. She's interested in pursuing that line of questioning, at least exploring that. But no, he's a very practical person. He talks about reasonableness as being something that matters to him. He doesn't want to ask her to marry him now. That's not the life he is looking for, and that's not what he's going to suddenly start wanting now. Thank goodness he's not going to fake it, but he's pretty clear about what he wants. And at one point he does say, oh, well, don't have it. I don't want you to have the abortion if it makes you feel bad. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But he never says, honey, let's make a life together. No. Instead, it's kind of, well, if you really don't want to do it, well, And he's just not, he's not wanting to be a father. This is not where he wants to go. So, speaking of where they want to go, here they are at a train station, a place of transit, a place where you stop and you move on from. And that's exactly where I think this relationship is headed. They're going to go in opposite directions because they want different things. And now they know. And they can't go back to not knowing, right? This has brought some knowledge into their life that they can't ignore. All right, well, I hope this story is less confusing for you now. And join me for another video. Thanks a lot.